What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning us back in. This is Nonsense Now.
What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about some conspiracy theories, and I've done a little bit of research of my own, and so has John here. And I know he's loaded, and
I
ready to go
have.
about some.
There's just
Tell
so many
us what you're
people.
talking about.
I personally want to talk about one of my favorite things that's been fascinating me for quite a while now, and that is flat earthers. It's just mind-boggling how there's so much concrete evidence in front of somebody's face, but yet they can be so lost in, I don't want to call it a delusion, because I mean I feel like that's kind of messed up, but in these thoughts, lost up in these thoughts,
Right.
it's crazy.
Some people are pretty passionate about it, so we don't mean to offend anybody, but it's we just don't see it the same way. That's all.
No, not at all, not at all. And I know you're bringing some to the table today too. You've been doing some research of your own.
Yeah, I got a little something in store for you. Uh,
All right. How about we start on one of yours? Because I've got, a lot of research done into flat earthers just because there's so much stuff.
Well, I think we've
Um,
already set the table with flat earthers, man.
all right.
Let's kind of hear what you got, man.
All right. So there's a lot of different theories to from what my research has been showing, from what I've been finding out, from scouring the web and stuff here is essentially there's a couple models that flat earthers run by, but there's no universal one that they all go by. So you're going to find a couple different areas of thought on the process. But I think the most fascinating one is the dome
So
theory.
what's up, Chris? How you doing, dude?
I'm good, man. By the way, I've done no research on any of this, so they're bringing me into this blind, and I'm looking forward to it because I'm here to do is give a reaction or give my, I guess, opinion or input on the
Hands,
situation.
oh god, dramatic effect, right? Hands down, though, I think the most fascinating one is the dome theory, which from what I've seen and what I've read is essentially the Earth is this flat, obvious dome surface within itself, and almost like the sun sits on maybe like a clock face that moves and rotates that way, and the moon versus does the same thing, but surrounding the Earth itself, apparently to the perimeter is thousands of miles high of a wall of ice. And I've literally seen some people describe it in the flat Earth community as Game of Thrones style. So, um, Game of Thrones style ice wall just surrounding the Earth.
So they think there's like a literal it just the ground is formed up into a wall of ice, like it's
I,
the ground and the
I
wall
guess I
are essentially.
really I guess it doesn't make much sense to me, but there's so many people that
So what's the
you know
theory on water? Where would such a shallow planet store so much water? So I'm trying to
I
figure out.
really don't know. I mean, I've read into some don't believe that the laws of gravity
More
are
than before.
a true thing. There's a couple different areas too that you'll find people try to justify it in. At least I've seen some hold like some have like a biblical stance behind it that they say parts of the Bible explain this and uphold their theory.
Happy
Um,
4th of July.
um,
He handed me candy, and then he said, "Let the
He's like, man,
fucking
what do I
ball."
do with this shit? I'm glad you didn't eat it though. That's fucking fantastic.
oh jeez. So back on the flat Earth part. So the biblical stance of it. So what I've been seeing is there's apparently this guy named, where'd he go? Philip Stallings. That was his name. Philip Stallings. He's the founder of the Biblical Flat Earth Society. He's 40 years old. He's from North Carolina. He's got a website that promotes his flat Earth theories. And it cites a lot of biblical justifications. Um, you know,
So he's the founder of the whole entire society.
No, I wouldn't say the whole society, like a piece of it. So he's part of the founder of the Biblical Flat Earth Society. There's quite a few flat Earth societies I've seen, and they all follow behind whichever model that they true or find true. Like I was saying, the dome theory being one of them. And like I said, I think that's the most interesting one.
Hmm.
But basically, this guy, Philip Stallings, best part too is he's from North Carolina. So he he believes the Illuminati are the orchestrators of this conspiracy called cover up flat Earth. Um,
Oh Lord.
so
Have you
he's
noticed, like, all these conspiracies, they all revolve around the Illuminati?
the Illuminati are definitely I feel like a big scapegoat for a lot of this stuff, but it was just who knows what they were, what they did, but you know, a
What they
lot of
were. You say it like they don't exist. People were absolutely convinced the Illuminati is a real organization at work right now in the world, dude.
I actually kind of legit believe in it.
It almost seems credible.
I
Like
mean,
Yeah,
I believe in
some
aliens, so I
superpower.
mean, some people I've told that I believe in aliens, and they look at me like I'm fucking crazy. They look at me like I'm an idiot.
there's people that think the Earth is flat, so don't
No, and
believe
that's
that.
it. Could be those people, but see, here's the best part. So, I mean, when you get that many people, I mean, I think you have to be a pretty ignorant person to believe something like that. I'm sorry, there's too much evidence. But there is a let's see, a conference coming up. It's in Texas. It's this November. But just when you put that many people together with that thought process and that idea, like, what are you gonna get? And that interests me. If I could somehow come up with the money, I would love to go to this place and just interview some of
I'm
these
sure
people
that's like
because
where new conspiracies come from.
Mhm.
It's like a convention for conspiracies.
I don't know, man. I would love to hear what a lot of them have to say. I mean, in a true manner, not just because I think it's pretty crazy, but I think it's definitely interesting to see how their minds process this.
So what do you think? You think there's any possibility like that the world could be flat and that we're just being bullshitted this whole time?
If it
Absolutely
is,
not.
I truly I'm a science believer. I think science explains a lot of things.
Yeah, I like science. You want to see some science?
I mean, tell Elon Musk that the Earth is flat, and I'm sure he'll just laugh at you. I mean, he's got a car to prove it's not. Like it's floating through space right now.
Yeah. Brett has a like terrarium he built
I know he
that
was
you're
showing me
about to
that.
see.
He was showing me that actually the other day. But yeah, let everybody else get a view of that for sure. It's
He's about to disprove it with a box, a flashlight, and some stuff that
Look,
he
look.
made.
keep in mind this took him probably maybe 20 minutes with some
And
kids' toys and some glue and
some
some
a
string.
little bit of yarn, some tape, and a little stupid flashlight. This is my kid's room, and you know, your entire society is gone. That's all I'm saying.
Brett is coming after you.
I
He is
Your
coming
entire
after
society
y'all.
is gone.
All right, here it comes.
Kids float by. So we're gonna go ahead and kill this stage light here, so you can kind of better see this here. Dude, we got a good shot of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, what he's trying to explain is if the Earth were flat when we have like a solar eclipse or anything like that, it would look like a disk against the reflection of the moon. However, as you can see there, that's essentially what he's representing.
The only thing, from what I've seen, is they think that within this dome is where these moon and sun reside, and they sit on almost a sundial thing and just rotate around.
So they're actually saying that the sun is much closer
There's
than everybody else says it is.
there's a documentary that's gotten really popular. It's on Netflix. I forget the name of it, but it's quite informative on how they think. It really is, and I think just because it's so far fetched for you to even think that the Earth could be flat, that it's gaining a lot of ground. There's and a lot of different news sites I go to now. There's it's I don't know if it's like because like it's entertaining for people just to look at, but I've seen tabs for flat Earth, and that I don't know if it should worry me or if it should intrigue me because did the
I think
publishers
this is all a result of everybody having it so good for so long. And this is gonna sound crazy, but like a lack of real war, a lack of like real personal conflict. So people have so much damn time to kill now that they're literally delving into these theories, like you're saying, the flat Earth stuff, the stuff we're going to get into later on the show. I think this is a result of people having access to unlimited internet and essentially just forming their own opinions on one little idea that just got expanded by hundreds of thousands of people.
It's one of the biggest far-fetched theories that's holding a lot of credence in the states and anywhere right now, actually.
Isn't that pretty interesting though? That it's not just a following. It's like it's a culture almost at this freaking point.
It really is, but in a lot of ways, like this guy, this Philip Stallings guy,
Don Drake Monster.
Well, he essentially, with him having the biblical stance behind it, because he claims to be a Reformed Christian, apologist, a theonomist, a kinist, which is unfortunate for him because I mean, and he just goes about ranting about this stuff too. Like,
what is that? What is
a kinist? A kinist is a white supremacist.
Oh,
that's
why I don't know nothing about
it. Kinism is essentially it's white supremacy. It's their interpretation of Christianity. So just even going there. I mean, I think everybody is born equal. I don't care where you're from, how tall, short, what color you are. Everybody's of equal stature in my eyes. I think that's the way the world should be, personally. But hey, not everybody thinks that way. But I mean, with him claiming all these things, it has a lot of things. I feel like he's using religion almost in a way to kind of like drag people in.
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah. So I mean, ultimately here's the best part. Tell me how many times you've had somebody that was some form of conspiracy theorist that really believed in some radical idea that had a following of people. I mean, a lot of the times, look at what Charles Manson, for example. They were criminals in some form of sense. So this guy Philip Stallings just fairly recently, I don't remember the date, but he was just charged with 56 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor. Basically, he had a bunch of porn, child porn, from what I was reading on his computers and stuff like that. It doesn't help the fact if you want to keep yourself off the radar like that, you probably shouldn't be claiming you're a kinist and ranting and raving on these crazy videos and stuff online.
Well, that made him a target, though. That's why he was found out. So,
I mean,
in the long run, that's a good thing.
For sure, his ideas and his beliefs are pretty much what screwed him over.
Exactly.
But you see what I mean, though. Somebody with such a radical idea, thought process on something like that, just has a lot more going on than just what they want the public to believe. I mean, because he had a lot of issues beforehand too. He had a lot of previous.
Like it takes a certain amount of brainwashing to get somebody to think like that in the first place.
Yeah, it really does. That's what I'm saying.
You don't just grow up naturally hating people. I mean,
no. Yeah. I mean, there's this other guy named Mike Hughes. He likes to call himself Rocket Man.
You get to hate people eventually because they get on your fucking nerves. But
I don't want to say I hate people. There's definitely people that come across
dislike is
thoroughly dislike. Yes.
Right.
So I either dislike you or I thoroughly dislike you. But
totem pole.
I don't want to say I've truly really hated a lot of people. Maybe one or two. I'm not perfect.
So hate's the equivalency of a murder almost. It's like
but in this one theory, the Flat Earth Society thinks that Antarctica is basically just the portion of ice that surrounds the Earth, and that it's just this gigantic wall of ice that has not been fully explored yet. So I don't know, like, how do you explain why the hell are we launching rockets into fucking space? What are we?
I've been on an airplane, so
that's what I'm saying. I've been on an airplane and I can see things. Things are not flat.
No, you can see the curvature of the Earth when you're way up there. Like, you can see like like all the farm pastures, and you see like the land actually get gridded up, and whatnot.
It's like crazy. But I think most commercial airliners cruise between like 30 and 34,000 feet roughly. That's definitely. No idea. I think it's roughly about there. I'm not a pilot, so I just feel like I've read that quite a few times. But still.
Interview Blackbird pilots, or like you say, anybody that's gone and orbited the Earth, or anybody like that.
who was it that went up in the Red Bull suit and went?
drop down.
Yeah, and they got right up to the point of space and
Yeah,
dropped
the
in
edge
from
of
outer
space.
space into Earth. Like, oh, dude, what an adrenaline rush that must
I
have been.
wouldn't do that. That must have been the best
Uh,
adrenaline rush ever. But you ain't gonna catch me doing that.
Imagine like a little tiny rock, making it through and punching a hole through your chute. Just, just oh, that could
You're
end so
done.
badly so quickly. I mean, there's a lot of space debris, dude. I mean, think about how many planets there are out there, man. I mean, and you
Dude,
think about
no,
how many
there
tiny
is. You
rocks
want
are
to
out
talk
there
about
on
space
top of that.
debris? There's this app that because I like searching for space stuff and things like that. There's this app that I downloaded off the App Store. It's called Skyview. I got the free version because I don't usually pay for apps because I'm poor. But there's an option to be able to like see space debris. It shows you the trajectories and like where rocket boosters were floating in space from back in like the Apollo era, and it's crazy.
Damn.
It's crazy. It's really interesting. I'm actually looking at it right now. Yeah, I look like a moron everywhere I walk with it, just looking around like this with it. But
Yeah, SpaceX kind of solved all that with their self-landing rockets.
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying. That saves so much money, so much damn money. And that's like,
Government's
why would
loving it, dude.
why is SpaceX launching things into space? Tell me what is happening if this is this
The
dome
government's
theory. You
hiring
launch a rocket up into the air, it's gonna hit the dome. What the fuck happens? What happens after you hit the dome?
right.
Where
Oh,
these rockets go?
The
What's
dome
gonna
is made out of the permeable pixie dust that comes along with terabytes of friggin' just nonsense on whoever this guy was you mentioned that founded the damn Flat Earth Society right out
That's
of
one of
North
them, yeah.
Carolina.
Philip Stallings, like I said,
Uh,
from North Carolina.
Like, why would all the other planets around us be big giant balls? And well,
Well, I mean, this stuff is gaining so much credence. The Science Channel is actually, from what I've read, apparently doing filming on this guy named Mike Hughes. He calls himself the Rocket Man. He's like a lot of his things he's been planning on doing. I think he was planning on doing and tried launching himself to the edge of space. He's also planning apparently an expedition to Antarctica, or he already did. I don't know, but it's just a lot of crazy stuff. Like, how do you not believe the Earth is fucking round? Tell me that. How? And then they're gonna say, "Well, you've never seen it. You've only seen pictures."
I would like to see. I would like to see like what their idea of the solar system is. Like, I've seen a few models, flipping through.
round, 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 flat, round,
Right.
round.
Yeah, just why? And what physical laws made it that way? It's
Yeah,
The thing is, it's gotten so out of hand that there's multiple theories on it. Like,
yeah,
there's
there
not
really
just
is.
one theory. There's like you can spend hours of people, and they disagree with each other.
They do. They really do, and that's the crazy
they're
part.
making up things and arguing about these
Yes,
made up things.
so bad.
It's terrible. I'm looking up. So I'm on Google right now. I looked up flat Earth models. Um, there's one I'm looking at. How the fuck do you think the Earth looks like this? God damn it, people! These people blow my mind. I don't understand this. I've seen some of these, but some of these are incredibly far fetched.
Like, based on what I saw, if the sun were that close to the Earth, it would like burn our atmosphere. It would like, it would just, we wouldn't have sustainable life here. Like if the sun were that close to the planet.
It's yeah. Here's a funny one. It's the flat Earth, but it's on the back of a turtle.
That sounds like a Japanese spin on it.
Yeah, there you go.
And the sad part is, someone will see that and like argue that it's legit.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
though,
I don't,
getting away a lift from the
it's
flat
hard to
earthers thing.
argue with these people.
Well, they just believe it. Like I believe Jesus. Like that's how much they believe. So you're like almost arguing something that has meaning to them. Like it, and when you tear it apart, it may or may not hurt them.
I mean, who knows? So moving from
I
flat
do.
Earth, there's enough. There's still more
I
to talk
fucking
about.
know.
What other conspiracies have you brought to the table, friend?
Well, speaking of like civilizations or cultures, like there's this idea. There's like breakaway civilizations, like Alex Jones. I'm sure everybody's heard of Alex Jones. This dude is like absolutely fucking convinced.
Shout out to my bass player Matt Johnson. He loves Alex Jones.
Dude, he's absolutely convinced that NASA is a like breakaway government. Like it's like this breakaway civilization, and like they're doing all these like really secret things. And
I
um,
would doubt there's something behind raps going on. I mean, come on, it's the government, it's the U.S. government. We always tell other people we're doing the right thing when we're probably doing some sneaky shit.
well, they seem to think that there's like this elite group of people who are like really brilliant scientists and physicists, and just people who are really book smart. And then you have people who are really well off financially to fund all this research and development. But they think that these people are like tied into like this like black budget that was created.
That's actually true. I can't say any names or anything like that, but I have a friend of mine who works for a portion of NASA, and some of the things that he's not allowed to talk about, he's talked to me to, about, and you would not believe the shit that he has seen, the shit that we're still using from World War II that were brought over here, designed by Nazis, still have swastikas on them. I'm talking power generators, things that like I couldn't fathom what he
Wow.
was telling me. Yeah, so there is some validity to what you just said.
Well, they supposedly they use this black budget to hide UFO findings, like technologies from extraterrestrial beings, and supposedly this is another mask for their operations. And people who actually work under this black budget would have like jobs within jobs within jobs to cover what they're actually doing. So
Yeah.
they'd be like, all right, well, he's a data management person, and then like he has like a sub job, and then that sub job is like, all right, well, data management of this. So when somebody comes out, he's like, well, oh, he's just a data management. He handles all our data. It's oh no, I work on alien spacecrafts and reverse engineer technology from space.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good
Like I
sell.
said, you're not far off base, man. Based on what I was told by my boy, man, there are things that when it gets to the point where it's like I can't talk about it, you know what you're saying and asking about is fully legit.
There's some shit, man. Like one of my, in music, one of my idols has always been Tom DeLonge from Blink-182.
He's a
And
huge UFO guy.
yeah, gigantic, man. Like he's got
Yeah.
his own show, I think, on the History Channel now. I mean, come on. I mean, it's all on aliens and stuff too. But there's a pretty sure his company is called To the Stars Academy,
Mm.
and yeah, he's just got so much stuff, and like his basically his stardom, it gives him access to places maybe other people wouldn't be able to have per se. So he's written a couple books I've read too. One of them,
Maybe a
Secret
little more credit
Machines.
than somebody who wasn't famous would get.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, Blink-182. If you grew up in the '90s, that's a staple name with what Sum 41.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now, Green
Yeah.
Day.
Blink had money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
got places.
As a
Mhm.
matter of fact, what was that song? They did a song on talking about they did a song basically saying that they had this much money to do this show with, and they're gonna do it. Basically, this is how much money they are offered, so this is how much money they're gonna put into the show. It was on one of
What?
their albums. I don't remember what.
What rock show?
Maybe that was it. It probably was Rock Show.
Let me see. But yeah, ultimately, I mean, and he's got a couple books too. I've read one of them, Secret Machines. I forget the subtext to that, but it was a good book, really informative. He's gotten his hands in pretty deep into some government stuff, and I mean you can go online right now, and there's some videos that are supported by To the Stars Academy of military video showing the military tracking aircraft doing outrageous maneuvers, going from zero to Mach something in seconds with no thruster. Like you could see no burn trail from anything. So crazy stuff that obviously even the people in the military are like, what the fuck is this? So they're just we're seeing something that's not supposed to be seen.
Yeah, way more validity than that than the flat Earth.
Oh yeah, come on. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like there's way more evidence there than any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, with the rise of technology too, there's way more sightings of UFOs now than there was even back
So
30 years ago.
although it's not a current theory that I'm aware of, it's one that I've kind of put together in my head based off of some existing theories. So, like you said, it's pretty easy to come up with a theory off of other theories. There's no really cross checking for the information because it's all theoretical in the first place. Um, uh, Imagine a breakaway civilization with this black budget, this unlimited funding, basically, and these brilliant minds, like the best of the best, and like they're ready, like they know about something. This is kind of getting into something else I was going to talk about, which is Planet X. Have you ever heard of that,
Mm-mm.
John? Planet X. You ever
I
heard of that?
have. There's a lot of different theories behind it, but like we were actually talking about a couple days ago. I was saying they actually think they found a Planet X in the Kuiper Belt now. Just evidence shows, but
Right.
that's something completely different. I want to. What is your?
Actually, it's not completely. It's actually
Oh, it's
pretty
not.
on point to what I'm talking about.
Okay,
Um,
throw it
So
out there.
it's a long drawn out tie of theory. So give me a moment. So they believe that there's a ninth planet because Pluto got shafted. So instead of Planet X, they're just calling it Planet Nine is what they're going to call it. But basically, really far out in the distant Kuiper Belt, there's been like 4 or 5 objects that have been having unusual orbits, and they think that there's another planet out there that has a orbit about 20,000 years around the sun. Um, but they believe it's part of our solar system, and that's what's making these unusual orbits on these other objects. Is there's a distant planet out there? Well, the idea that this distant planet is this planet called Nibiru is what some people call it, but there's actually another planet in the universe that's already named Nibiru, so they'll probably not name it that. But long story short, this distant planet, they're expecting it to come back at some point, and when it comes back, they're saying it's about 10 times the size of the Earth. So
It's
when
pretty
it
damn
comes
big.
back, it's going to drag a lot of things back with it. Is the
Hell
concern.
yeah.
Now they don't know for certain there's a planet, but they know that there's something going on because
There's something there because the gravity manipulation and things.
right, they're thinking it's a gravitational pull from a giant ice planet, basically. So imagine like this really powerful group of people, financially and educated, uh, know about this, and they're trying to get us to where we should be in order to prevent or escape such a catastrophe from happening, and that they're ready to just dip set at us at any moment. But before they dip set on us, they're going to try to help us get to where we need to be if time permits it. So the idea is that it's like greater humans, I guess you would call them, trying to steer humanity to save itself from ultimate destruction. And
It sounds like a movie plot. You sure you're not telling me a movie plot?
I'm sure I'm not saying like literally, this is something from like, well, it's multiple different theories. Like, well, Planet X is still theoretical. They've never actually found the actual planet. So it's still a theory. It's not written in stone. I don't think there's any movies about it. If there are, I would really like to see them. To be honest.
There's a bunch of interesting shit. If you plot me down in front of a TV, as long as it's got the History Channel or something on it, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good to go.
Thoughts?
Yeah, really, thoughts on that? There, there's a bunch. I mean, come on. There's like the mole people theory. Have you heard of the, like the inner society that living inside the Earth within the crust? There's like a whole nother world.
Not quite Futurama inner city, but more like really high tech. Like
Speaking of
cable systems.
Futurama, this is totally fucking random, but you know the TV show, the cartoon show, Adventure Time.
Adventure Time, yes.
Adventure Time. It blew my mind, but Jake the dog is Bender. I didn't fucking know that.
Really?
Jake the dog is Bender.
I don't know that
And then
either.
there was one episode I was watching too. I also heard the dude who plays Fry. Fry's voice was in there, and the professor, and Zach Brannigan, whatever the hell his name is, Zach Brannigan. His voice was in that shit too. Because
No kidding.
I was in my room doing something. My kid's watching Adventure Time, and I hear Fry's voice, and I'm like, oh, and he's watching Futurama. I was like, why the fuck is he watching Futurama? He ain't old enough for that. So I come out there, and it's Adventure Time, and I'm like, man. And my fiance is like, huh, now that I think about it, Jake kind of does sound like Bender. I was like, no. Started listening to him.
Did you look up the voice actor to confirm
Yeah, I
it?
did. I did. It's motherfucking Bender.
That's pretty cool.
Completely random,
Yeah.
but
Child friendly to not child friendly.
I like Adventure Time. It's
So I did lie to you guys.
uh-oh.
I did have one conspiracy theory that a friend of mine that I used to work with was looking into.
Okay.
But it got so damn deep and unbelievable. I just he lost me on it.
Those are the
And
best ones.
When I say this, you guys are gonna go, "Oh shit, Bigfoot."
Bigfoot.
But there is a spiritual realm to
He's
Bigfoot.
blurry.
Yeah,
Spiritual realm to what?
Bigfoot. All right, so essentially, there's like a couple different videos on YouTube that he showed me about Bigfoot and how Bigfoot isn't actually a being per se, but people have had their encounters with him, tried shooting them, and if you get real, I didn't do a lot of research on it, but if you get real deep into the whole Bigfoot mythology, all of a sudden, like certain people that get real deep into it, they have a hard time sleeping, and then all of a sudden, they'll wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning and feel this presence, and then like all of a sudden it's gone, but like it'll make the air cold, it'll make you freak out, it'll make you freeze up and stuff like that. I'm like,
Ghosts are
you're
real.
talking about like a furry thing that runs around the woods trying not to be screwed with, but there's multiple guys that are like, not only did I see it, but it ruined my life, my mentality's shot. One guy was a sheriff. It was wild.
It can do what it wants, so I don't want to bother it.
Yeah, I'm not even. He's like, yeah, don't dive deep too into this because there is a spirituality behind it, and it can totally screw your soul. And I'm like, what? I was like, we're talking about Bigfoot, right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, but it gets dark.
Yeah, dude, I'm a firm believer in spiritualist shit because I've been to this town called Casadega in
Lord, I've been there too.
In Florida.
It's creepy, bro.
That town is it's just got something about it.
There's something there, dude. Like I've been to this town too, where he's talking about, and
it's one of the oldest towns.
I don't know,
dude, there's gravestones. There are gravestones there, and like from the 1600s, I've seen gravestones marked.
Whoa.
I don't know if it's just a lot of like the hearsay about the phenomena that happens there.
No, it's weird there, man. The place is weird. I've been there. I
heard some weird things about the Casadega Motel too.
Yeah, I've been in that hotel, and I actually had a reading from a spiritualist in there.
Oh Lord, you went the extra step, didn't you?
I did. So I really wanted to see what was going on. So there's apparently two sides to the town. There's like the educational side to the town where it's like more structured, and then there's the more touristy side of the town where you can get like walk into somebody's house, get a reading from their shop or something like that. Right. But I went over to the library where all this like it's got a bunch of spiritual stuff, and they have this board on the wall that you can call spiritualists up and have them come like they have degrees in this stuff apparently. I don't know from what university or from wherever, but they've got degrees, so they say. So I called this lady off one of the lists, and she came and gave me a reading. And it's really what's really weird is usually they're really vague about what they come at you with. Just try to pinpoint something, just try to squeeze info out of you so they can kind of make it more. I was
told I would struggle with money until I was 40. That's like,
well, you
got that's pretty
got 10
vague.
more years. You got 10 more years. No, but like, so I don't know. When you're in that town, and I'm pretty sure you can agree with me on this. When you're in that town, you feel like something else is watching you. You feel like something else is maybe right behind your shoulder.
Bigfoot.
It could be Bigfoot. You never know. It's very wooded around there. It's a great area for him to hide. What's that? You think it's a demon? Maybe Bigfoot is a demon.
Bigfoot is a demon or some shit.
No, but like, can't you can agree? We can agree though that it feels like something else is there. Something maybe is just something's watching you.
Yeah, I
Something's
agree with it. In my experience, I was younger and possibly hang out with friends doing illicit drugs.
possibly.
But it was definitely a creepier place than any other places that we were doing illicit drugs. So I'd say it was probably something to it.
Regardless, so I get this lady. I wait 20 minutes. She shows up at the hotel because that's where we do the reading, and we go up to one of the rooms. It's just creepy up in that hotel anyway. Apparently, there's a ghost that walks around that hotel too.
Meeting a
But
woman in a hotel to have your spirit read is also like
a hotel that's like
but
100
that's
years
creepy as
old.
shit.
I think that hotel's
Right?
like 100 years old, isn't it?
It's
Some shit like
old,
that.
yeah.
It's
That
very old.
town is kind of historic in a way.
It's interesting. Uh,
And,
People are weird there too, man. It's like Hills Have Eyes people. No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But you get that vibe in certain areas. I ain't gonna lie.
Damn. You roll up on somebody with like a fist growing out of their chest like Hills Have Eyes people, or just like
I
weird
mean,
ass.
if I go to that house that's buried back in the woods, I mean, it might be.
Damn, don't do it, dude.
Yeah. But no, I get the reading from this lady, and she's just like, we sit down, and she just like looks at me, and she's like, you feel like something's around you, don't you? She's like, because I feel an extra presence. I was like, she's like, I feel it too, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, this bitch just got serious. I was like, she fucking sees something or feels something around me. She's like, and then she starts talking. And she was very, very precise on some of the stuff she was saying to me, man. She's like,
you jerked off at 3 p.m. yesterday.
no, she
So
no, she
precise.
no, she told the future
knew.
on that one. She knew
Oh,
precisely
wait,
when I
hold
was
up.
going
It's
to.
3:14 a.m. exactly.
No, but she's like very precise stuff that happened to me when I was a kid, like almost pinpoint. I was like, man, this is really weird. I was getting really fucking weirded out. But what really got me was the fact that like I felt like I was being watched the whole time, and I don't like that. I don't like feeling like there's something over my shoulder.
Right.
And she pinpointed it to being a spirit, but she couldn't tell yet if it was nice or bad. So I was like, man, that's even creepier. A spirit that doesn't want to show you its vibe. So I've had to live with that, and that's always fucking terrified me because then that's like, it just makes my skin crawl thinking about it.
How much did you pay her?
No, it was free, which is the weirdest part.
Did you tip her?
Just the tip. I mean, but come on.
I mean,
Don't we all? I mean,
if she was that spot on, I'd have threw her a 20, man. If you feel like she was accurate about it, I would have threw her a 20.
John, give her 20 seconds.
I've gotten better over the years. I've gotten better.
Yeah, in fact, this makes perfect, man. Yeah.
Damn right. But no, it didn't cost me anything, which was the weirdest part. Like people like take their time out of their day to come talk to some stranger in a creepy old hotel. I don't know. It sounds like thinking about it now and how I'm wording this, I might have been setting myself up to get murdered
Or molested.
But here I sit though,
Yeah.
talking about bullshit and my weird experiences. But hey, I believe in ghosts. I don't care what anybody says. I've seen weird shit. I've seen creepy shit. I've seen things floating in the sky that don't look normal. So hey, I think there's a lot of credence behind a lot of these theories, but flat earthers, I'm sorry, you're fucking idiots.
They are catching an ass whooping on this one.
Dude, I just can't understand it. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I mean,
Well,
I'm sure if any of them see this, we're gonna get our asses fucking reamed for it. But I really don't care. You come at me with research, I will research it twice as hard back at you.
There's
You know
no
why?
such thing as bad publicity, man.
I
This is true.
Yeah,
Unless you're the president.
I'm no genius, but I sure know how to track
sounds
down
like
somebody's a
Donald.
fucking moron on the internet.
If you want to really shoot yourself into the stratosphere, piss off a whole group of fucking people, man.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Oh man.
Yeah, dude. There's a saying in business in general is if you make one person happy, they'll tell 5 people. If you piss
Don't
off
shit where
one
you
person,
sleep. I mean,
they'll
come on.
fucking planet, dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord, man. But the Planet X, man,
Oh, you're back on
that theory has always kind of intrigued me a little bit. Like the idea that there could be this icy planet, and imagine if we could get to the point in technology where this planet comes closer to our planet, and we could influence its speed somehow with some technology. I don't know, but
Dude, there's been enough
and slow it down,
meteors and
maybe
shit flying
give
by,
ourselves
or
a system
asteroids.
planet to live on, like right next door kind of thing. Like it's an icy planet, so get it close to or slow it down somehow. I don't know how to do it, but you have to align it with the orbit of all the other planets to make sure
Just
there's no major
believe.
collisions. But you would have like a planet that would thaw out, and it'd be a water planet there then, theoretically.
I mean, like all about the Bermuda Triangle. I mean, there's also like this other one on the other side of the world off the coast of Japan. It's called like the Dragon's Triangle or some shit, but it's apparently the same damn thing as like the Bermuda Triangle, just on the other side of the world.
Like the exact opposite end of the world.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's almost on the exact opposite end too. I saw some documentary on it once before.
If it wasn't for all our mountains, that the whole world would be underwater still. Did you know that?
What?
The mountains are the reason why the whole we have land.
Okay.
This is new information to me.
Yeah. Seriously, when the tectonic plates collided and the mountains were formed, it pushed the land up out of the water from the core materials of the planet and caused all the water to go underneath the land.
Once again, disproving the flat Earth theory.
Yeah, we have mountains. Have you not seen those?
Mountains? No, shit's made up.
Like seriously though, build me a model of your solar system that would work and not kill us.
It's got to be better than Brett's model.
It's got to be better. It's got to be at least 10 more minutes of time and at least
for real. I
5
mean, because
material.
It looks like a 3-year-old made that thing. So come on, I mean, give us something better.
If you were here in person, though, real talk, he put time into that.
Oh god, don't tell everybody that. You're gonna make it look worse now.
I was expecting the stuff that was hanging to be moving, but it was like he's got that shit secured on both ends. It's like, holy shit, like it's what do they call them things when we were growing up? Like a terrarium, or what the fuck are they called? Those things we used to do in high school or middle school, where it was like a project.
I wasn't good in school, so
neither was I. That's why I can't remember the friggin' word.
It's projects. Yeah, that's all I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you want me to glue some shit together and write
something
things?
I probably didn't do is really what it is.
Speaking of projects, check that out. That's right there is that's a project that me and my daughter worked on for her dressing up as her favorite character at school. And at the time, her favorite character was Master Chief. So me being a broke dad and a little bit of imagination, we pulled it together.
That's actually full legit. Like
you can wear that. It's equipable. She wore this to school.
It's equipable.
It had a light. It had a lit HUD and everything, man. It was legit. She was going to school, pressing the button on the side of the helmet, and it was lighting it up and everything.
I'm putting this on.
Let's check them out.
The
perfect fit.
Yeah. And you
Chief,
can see
is that you?
Yeah. I can see out of it. It's right on. Right on the money.
Dude, this reminds me of this freaking clip. My uncle told me about it, dude. And it's like the funniest thing I've seen. You gotta look it up. It's pretty tough to find, but just look up Master Chief takes off helmet, funny clip or something like that. But basically, Cortana and Master Chief are all going throughout their life and showing clips of them through time, having a good time and oh, we love each other together and da da da. And then all of a sudden he's like, all right, Chief, well, why don't you take off your mask? We could do it together, And so she starts to take off his mask, and it looks like the dude from the Goonies, he was just terrible looking. She just slowly starts putting the helmet on back on him. He has that's what it was. He has a plasma grenade stuck to his helmet, so she wanted to get the helmet off him, because it was going to go off eventually. So it's like, all right, well, and she slides it back over his face. She's like, I'm gonna miss you.
It's been real, but no.
It's peace, homie. You're on your own now.
Ghost.
Yeah, you hear it, Master Chief. Cortana will leave your ass. Leave that mask on.
talk to Cortana every night. She turns my Xbox on and off for me.
So
Yeah.
speaking of the ghost thing you guys were talking about, like I believe too, but I want to see some shit, dude.
Dude, I've seen some. Dude, look up some ghost videos online right now.
I want to be a part of it. Like
you won't go to sleep. I've seen one video. I forget what show or whatever it was I was watching, but this guy's like walking down this hallway, and they get to this one room where it's just a bunch of debris in the back room, like broken up, like just like bricks and paint cans and a bunch of shit, just like everything laying on the floor. And all of a sudden, a brick picks up off the ground and just throws across the room. A brick, and like I would have shit a brick and then ran out the room.
That's cool. All I'm saying is
That's
I'm
terrifying.
inviting it into my life. I want to see it myself.
Man, you're asking when you ask to play with the hand of death like that.
Yeah, you might get what you're asking for.
I'm on record begging for it. I'm like,
oh
throw me
Lord,
some ghost shit. If I
Y'all heard
die
him.
in the process,
Nope.
then you'd be like, hey, guess what? We need this one dude, Chris, that was on the show one time. He
And then your
asked for it.
soul will forever be stuck in torment.
Well, then I get to throw shit at people, which is also a win. So I'm not really seeing a loss here.
Maybe you're the one getting shit thrown at.
This is just an idea. If I could line this up like an abandoned place, like a really big creepy fucking building.
I'm in.
Stay the night in. Like,
Not
could
me.
we all
I'm
meet
already
up?
there.
Not me.
No, you're out.
Not gonna go, John. We need you,
Nope.
John.
Oh man, it wouldn't be right with just two dudes, man. We had
No,
I'm not even officially on the show. Like I'm the guest guy. Okay, you guys are the
and I'm the
show.
chicken shit, I guess. But
You're
fuck
the
that.
official guest guy.
Yeah, I'm the
That's your
official
name.
guest guy,
That's
man.
his
Like,
You're
name.
the official guest guy.
yeah, today we have we're not even gonna say his name. He's just
The
the
guest
official
guy.
guest guy.
He's just
He was-
here.
yeah.
He's sitting somewhere around here.
And then, like, if I'm not here on the next one, it'd be like, oh yeah, well, remember all that ghost shit
No,
Chris
dude.
used for? It happens
Money
If
over.
we if we ended up getting like a chance to do like the podcast at a haunted place, people would hear me scream like a girl, and it would be terrifying. That would be terrifying in its own.
I would love that. I would love to hear you scream like a girl.
No,
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
that.
I'd love to roll.
Oh god, maybe
please
we're
don't
doing
eat my ass spirits.
maybe you can coax me into it somehow, but as of right
I won't bring a Ouija board.
it's a pretty strong no as of right.
we will go and we will just
It's
bring protection.
protection.
Not-
I'll get a
iron
whole box of
bullets.
rubbers.
Yeah, there you
I'm gonna bring sage with me and fucking shake sage around. Try to
No,
dispel
you
the
gotta
area.
salt the doorways and the windows, and you gotta have an iron, something or another. That's how you fight ghosts, man. I've seen it. I've
All right,
seen
I
it.
got an idea.
Sounds like how you keep the 7 plagues out from fucking ravaging your town.
We can keep John in it, but John can stay where he's at. Me and you will strap GoPros to ourselves. Just like I'll go in there.
Leave? Hell no. Wherever you guys go, I'm following you. I'm not staying by myself.
What I'm no. What I'm saying
Oh,
is
you
you
don't
stay
wanna
where you're
go.
at for the podcast, like in the room that you're in now.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then me and Brett will go.
I don't know if ghosts can go through fucking the internet or some shit. Sounds
Are you
legit.
worried about that, dude? You don't want me a part of this, dude, because I'm gonna be instigating shit the whole time. I promise you that.
Oh, I hate ghosts. That shit
Yeah,
terrifies me. That shit is so scary, dude.
You gonna face your fears, though, right? We're gonna do it, though, right? I'm not saying it has to
I'm not
be soon.
saying yes, but I'm not saying no.
Didn't say no.
Yeah, y'all heard that.
I'm not
This is a
saying yes,
possibility for
but
a
I'm
future
not
episode.
saying no.
What
Possible.
were we thinking? Like episode 10, maybe?
I'm not giving any timelines.
Episode 4?
Episode 4.
Episode 4. Fuck that.
Episode 4, man. I'll pay for your gas, bro. You ain't gotta stay for a whole day.
I
Just
got
gotta be for enough for a podcast.
I got half on it.
Maybe one of these upcoming episodes we can get something like that, but we'd have to research some areas to do that in. But man,
Dude, on my way to Roseboro, North Carolina, I seen some like abandoned factories. It would be perfect, dude. I think they might have been like hog farms or something.
we'll probably just get eaten.
The fact that they're abandoned makes me wonder if they're like any of the ones that like got flooded and like all the hogs died possibly. That might be a spirit. Jesus was said to put demons in the hogs, man. Maybe we'll find some ghosts there.
Hell
I'd be
no.
tripping out if I got chased by like a ghost piglet. Like I'd be like,
Dude,
all right,
like
this is all I asked
demon
for.
pig. Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude, that would freak the fuck out. I'd be lost, bro. You would not find me.
I'd be gone. You watch me run faster than you've ever seen anybody run.
The tail lights. those trails. You ain't finding me.
I
Oh Lord.
Man, it makes my skin crawl just thinking about it.
The
Fuck.
ghost one riffed, man. We hit a nerve on that one. That was good, fellas. That was on point.
I like
I'm
alien
thinking
shit,
we
man.
need
That
to
stuff is just so far fetched. I just can't even like. Not. I shouldn't say far fetched, but it's just so. What can you do? They can do whatever the fuck they want. So what's the point of being
go
afraid?
to a farm. Well, I mean, the thing about going to farms and like getting lost in like a field or something is you run into like a lot of snakes and things like that, and don't want anybody to get hurt, or rather you get possessed by a demon instead.
Yeah,
No,
That'd be much better.
Yeah,
no, no,
John's
no.
all in.
Nope.
John,
Hell no.
seriously, if a ghost is talking to you and the ghost asked you, like if they can like borrow your meat suit for a minute, like would you let them?
Hell no, because they're lying. They just want to
Yeah,
get a body.
that is right. That is the correct answer. Is hell no, because you ain't getting that meat suit back if they say yes.
I'd be like, please don't ever contact me again. I'm sorry I came into your territory.
Yeah. Like, all right, I quit. I'm not doing this no more, guys. I'm done.
So
I've seen enough. My life is totally ruined. I'm a nightmare about this all the time.
oh, I don't like it.
So, do you think that Cortana could be a conspiracy too? Like, is that another CIA weapon?
I mean, we already know that anybody that owns like an Amazon like little
Or
friggin'
Google Home even?
little talk thing and like the Google Home little things, you're being listened to all the time. Not that I'm one to talk. I'm literally recording and sending this out to the masses. The
Bro,
government.
we're being listened to on knees every
Oh
single
yeah,
day.
yeah. No, there's technology that has these cameras that watch you all the time. So
I
I mean,
heard the creepiest shit, dude. I heard that they developed a technology that they could see what the inside of your house looks like based off of Wi-Fi signals.
Oh, it's legit. It's
Like
legit. It's
they
fully
could
legit.
bounce
see
signal
you
off stuff.
without a camera.
It's like sonar almost.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
It's
That's
like
crazy.
Wi-Fi. That's why Wi-Fi extenders I feel like are a big hoax. Wi-Fi extender just gives them more extension to see more detail.
I think Spectrum is banking on stuff like that because I think some of their phone services run off of Wi-Fi signals.
Yeah.
I mean, most of their signals. I mean, even the damn.
Speaking of which, Verizon,
send
what the hell,
digital
dude? Like
now.
all day today, zero signal. What the fuck?
Oh, Verizon taking a hit. Aren't they usually like on top with that signal
Dude,
shit?
like you normally, hey, can you hear me now? Yeah.
He went to
Yes.
Sprint.
Yeah, that was kind of cheap. I thought, man, you go from one to go. He's
Dude,
like the
smartest
phone
thing
company
ever
whore.
on his end. The dude doesn't work for Verizon anymore, saying, "Yeah, like, oh, can you hear me now?" Like, walks up to Sprint, be like, "Wouldn't it be a great idea if I just said, hey, can you hear me now on your network?"
Yeah.
Yours? Ho ho!
You're just gonna pay me a shitload of money though.
Yeah.
We live in that generation though where no one's loyal. Shit, if that guy can't be loyal, I mean, none of us.
Loyalty is a thing of the past, and a lot of. I mean, in family aspects, I could see it still being a thing, but
is that just a precursor to society?
when
and
people
marriage?
are comparing
His betrayal
prices,
to
there's
Verizon?
no loyalty. Like it is, who's got the better price?
Oh, John's got a KV to that too, though. He said, "What was that, John?"
Oh, I just zoned. What did I just fucking say?
You were talking about marriage.
Oh yeah, I said his betrayal of Verizon like a precursor to society and and marriage these days.
We live in a crazy society. If you're not locked down to a spouse, man, Tinder. I mean, there's so many dating apps and stuff out there now.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at those plenty of ways to just like you're gonna like. What I don't understand, if you're on Tinder and you're going to a place and you don't know the person and you get fucking like kidnapped and shit,
Or herpes.
can you or herpes? Can you really blame anybody but yourself? You put yourself in that situation. It's a bad idea. Mama told you not to get into a car with a stranger.
Yeah, now we literally have them come to our house to pick us up. It's called
Yeah,
Uber.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, there's some self responsibility there, but at the same time, it's like you're not supposed to be a kidnapper. There's responsibility there too.
Shit, yeah, you're not supposed to be a murderer, but people do it.
Right.
You know, like
I think that even if they didn't go on that Tinder app, that whoever that killer was is gonna just hunt somebody else at that point.
Brett, are you on Tinder?
No. Not on Tinder. You
I
will
know
not.
you were
Yeah.
defending it there for a second. I was
You
like,
you will
Big
not
blood
find me on Tinder. No offense. Hey, everybody do your thing, man. But
Yeah, he's more of a grinder guy.
I ain't got time for that
oof.
shit.
I did notice this chair was a little uncomfortable compared to my
Yeah,
chair.
towards the butthole area, right?
Yeah,
A
man.
lot of
Like, I don't
pressure.
know.
And if you turn this cushion around, it's a different
Ah, that's what it
situation.
was.
And
Different design on the other
yeah,
end. Right?
it's when I have female guests over, it's a little different situation.
Oh, okay.
Get John coming over here.
They
Get his hair up.
when he says female, he means men dressed as women.
No, oh,
Ah,
dude. No, yeah. Where's that picture, dude? I have a picture of this guy right here with a front ponytail. He's like, like with a front ponytail though. Like,
Oh
oh,
no, how fucked
he
up
had
was
he
that?
had he had hair like down to like here, dude. Like at one point,
My hair was longer than that. Get out of here. It was like,
dude. Literally, you came over to Mom and John's house one day, and I literally thought you were my mom.
because I'm
oof.
beautiful.
Like I was like, Ma, yeah. Oh shit, that's John.
Oh shit, it's my brother.
My bad. My bad, homie.
Hey, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. I can fool you. I'm a woman and I'm a man. Damn right, I'm good looking.
And this day and age, you can be whatever the fuck you want, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you could even go to the courthouse and rewrite if you're a man or a woman.
I think that's pretty insane, but
Now that I'll be real with you guys, that is a group of people you do not want to attack or question.
Hey, they do whatever they want, man. I don't, like I said, I don't care who you are, what you do.
Good answer.
You do you, I'll do me, and that's it. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
bug you. You don't bug me.
Do flat earthers bug you?
In a way, yes.
You're going after them.
I mean, I'm
Eh,
looking at
they
them.
don't really bug me. It's more entertainment for me. It's
was
like,
trying to find
okay,
like the
hey,
first.
people will believe anything you tell them.
Yeah.
Trying to look at like the core of what I found. I found something on Wikipedia here. I mean, it says even though anybody can change this shit, but it says the flat Earth theory first emerged in the 19th century England, despite the Earth's spherical nature having been known since at least the time of Pythagoras, who wrote Pythagoras' theorem. Shit. I mean, it's Mark Sargent. Oh yeah, the American software consultant Mark Sargent. I've heard a lot on him talking through it. He has a lot of YouTube videos on it too. But it just, I don't know, man. Like, why would people waste all this time and money sending stuff into space then, if it all didn't do anything? It just doesn't. It blows my mind.
I'm with you on that one. Oh, Brett's pulling something up now.
He's interested. It just blows my mind.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey,
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Agenda 21. Have y'all ever heard of that?
Nope.
no,
John.
actually, I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
also
in.
known as the Sustainable Development Project. Anybody heard of that?
Nope.
Okay.
That
Well,
looks
this
like
is
on
this
Mars.
is like a document that was signed into, by the United States and like a bunch of other countries. And it's plan about like building a sustainable future. And that this plan requires
5, right?
sacrifice of private land to give it back to nature per se, and for us to be living in these like really tight these mega structure complexes of really small living quarters, um
It sounds
in
terrible.
order to make a more sustainable planet.
It sounds like
um this is something we signed on to, but it was never ratified by Congress. So like could they legally hold us to it? No. Americans would just say no, yeah, no, we're not doing that. But it is something that George Bush signed into. This has been a while, but it's a United Nations agenda. You can find it on the UN website. Like agenda, it's a real thing. It's not, I'm not even, not even bullshit. Yeah, but it's all about globalism. Basically, it's about one government, like one world government.
Illuminati.
Yeah,
It is the Illuminati. Have you ever heard of the Georgia Guidestones?
yeah, dude, that's some
Ah.
sick stuff, dude. Oh my god.
Dude, the Georgia Guidestones, they were put there in what, like 80s or 70s or something? Hold on.
They're written in like it's written like 10 different languages.
Yeah, 10 different languages on like 10 guidelines as to how to make society basically sustain itself throughout time.
Oh.
I just had it up, but my other computer's
Some
restarting.
of them are like require like population reduction,
Oh.
and like nobody wants to hear that, of course, because that
No,
means
they really do. Hold on, I'm about to bring it back. My
John's gonna take us there.
my other computer
Right.
just died.
Have you guys checked out stuff on like CERN? And,
Oh, dude, I'm a huge
Yeah,
fan
like they're
of the
actually
CERN
building.
project. I think it's insane to
They're
try to
building a
generate
bigger
black holes on the planet, but hey,
Have you seen the new project
I'm
they're
not a
building?
physicist.
It's twice the size of the first one they're building.
Hmm.
Some bullshit.
No, but their logo is kind of concerning.
Ah,
Have you ever seen
there
it
you
though?
go.
Seriously, look it up. Look at
Does
this
it look
one.
like a giant butthole or something?
It looks like 3 sixes. It looks like 666. That's what it looks like. I'm not even kidding. This is legitimate.
Damn.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Give me a sec.
Well, I mean, there's so much, mysticism around CERN, and of course, everybody uses, what do you call it, symbolism, I guess,
Right.
in that, and of
Doesn't
course,
matter.
they might be trolling people by doing stuff like what you're
It
talking
does
about.
actually. It's like 3 6 just
They
twisted.
had
Oh, he
like
found it.
a statue of a goddess of destruction, like
Isn't that Shiva?
in their parking lot of the CERN facility. Did you know that the Hadron Collider is actually so massive that it crosses into 2 different countries? It's Switzerland and France.
Yeah. Now, have you seen the project? Like, look it up. I mean, they're building one. I think like twice or 3 times the size of that one. But back on the Georgia Guidestones, though, yeah, it's written in English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, traditional Chinese, and Russian. Basically, these are the 10 guidelines they have. Number 1 is to maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. 3 is unite humanity with a living new language. 4 is rule passion.
Go back to that. Unite humanity with a what? A
With
new living language?
a living new language.
What the hell does that mean?
I don't
Essentially
fucking
creating a new language, one that
guess
everybody
so.
would understand. Like he's talking about self-sustain.
know. Yeah. 4 is
That-
rule passion.
Globalism
tradition.
had to be in place for that to be a thing.
What if they're connected?
Who knows? Maybe the person that made these has the money to do all that, or
Let's
is
hear
already
this.
doing all that.
Let's hear this snapshot John's got, man. I'm into this.
It's interesting and it's local to us too. So I mean, hey, let's see. 5, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. 6, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. 7 is avoid petty laws and useless officials. 8 is balance personal rights with social duties. 9 is prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. And 10 is be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Apparently, they really want to leave room for nature. Makes sense, but I mean, hey, we're trying to get off the earth anyway.
So you were very uncomfortable about talking about that, but maybe I'm just hearing it wrong, but it didn't sound that terrible.
What, the Georgia Guidestones?
Yeah.
I mean, it
How-
all
Hmm.
it's very restrictive.
I got his ass now. He's thinking.
It's very
How
restrictive.
do you get the population under 500 million? We're at 7 billion right now. You'd have to kill off 6.5 billion people.
We're already doing it.
All right, but population's just increasing at this point.
No, it's not. Actually, this year, I saw earlier on that because of because a lot of millennials, guys our age.
Yeah, they're
I know
way-
you've got a couple kids, but dude, I don't have any kids. I
You
know
got
a lot of
guitars.
people I got guitars, but I know a lot of guys my age that are like, they're waiting, and I'm doing it for selfish reasons because, I don't want the responsibility of having kids, and I like buying nice shit for me and my wife, and that is as shallow as a puddle. But guess what? I'll drown in that puddle because until I'm ready to fully devote myself to having a kid, I can't do it. Whereas I've seen with Brett, he's an excellent father. I mean, everything, dude, check this suit out over here, So that's his passion is his kids.
It's a childhood heart. That's why he gets along so well.
Yeah. Sometimes I think I might be like Alex Jones, and I might be a little mentally handicapped at times. So my creations aren't quite up to par for what you would think a dad did.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is that the older generation is actually living longer, but at the same time, our reproduction rate is dropping because, of what we talked about earlier, essentially, a lot of the LGBTQ people, stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people that were giving birth and doing stuff like that, they're either doing it artificially, which of course there's a great decline in, output of babies and stuff like that when you go that route, or people are adopting stuff like that. But yeah, we're already in the process of doing it. Look how many young people are diagnosed with cancer that never smoked, never drank, never did anything. Look how many young people are diagnosed with terminal illnesses that have never done anything. Look how many kids. I mean, I think I saw 3 articles last week of kids very, very young dropping dead at, 11, 12 years old from heart attacks. And this is all coming from processed foods. There's a million theories on it, but I mean, let's be real. I mean,
that's why some of these people were trying to go all natural, but I mean, it's just
yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna work.
Well, I've heard that changing your diet dramatically can have like some serious adverse effects on your body because your metabolism and right, your body's used to this, and the more consistent you are, what you put in your body, the better.
Yeah.
Just don't be consistently feeding it crap.
I have a friend that consistently feeds his body crap, and he will not listen to me on it. He's not fat by any means.
Called out, bro.
But yeah, he came to practice last night and downed one of those McFrappe things and full on farted like 8 times. And I mean, I clean carpets. I've cleaned corpses off of grounds, that were left in houses for 2 weeks. They did not smell as bad as this man's ass did last night.
The McFrappe gives you the McGurgles.
Yes. McRuns.
All right. Oh, Lord.
That's McRoast.
That's time I kicked out of the drive-thru. It wasn't my fault, though. It was Seth's fault. You remember Seth, John?
Yeah, I do, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. He's kind of a dick.
How'd you get kicked out of a drive-thru?
Well, he said something that they didn't like. Yeah. I'll say it because I didn't say it. Calling you out right here, right now on this podcast.
Yeah.
So I ordered my food at this McDonald's drive-thru, and my friend's in the passenger seat is talking trash, and he like says McAdolphs, like in reference to McDonald's, and the people inside of McDonald's did not like that shit. When I got to that window, they were telling me to go fuck myself, that I want to get my food. I was like, man, I didn't say it. It was this douchebag in my seat, passenger. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I ain't giving you shit. I was like, damn, motherfucker. I got kicked out of the fucking drive-thru.
You went to the wrong McDonald's. I've literally been handed a blunt through the drive-thru at the New River location when I was young.
Oh, Lord, dude. I wish life was that easy. That's too convenient, man.
Yeah, I know. Didn't know how good we had it.
Right. Times changing, but marijuana's come a long way in legalization bit. It's many states are opening up to it. A lot of states have already got medical marijuana down pat. New York's been struggling with trying to get it legalized, but eventually it's going to sweep over us. I mean, Canada, the whole country went legal, so we got Canada and then Mexico, and Mexico's down there, pumping all the weed up here. So, but now that we're growing our own, because we are making it legal in some states, and we can start really benefiting.
In my town alone, we've got 2 dispensaries opening up. I mean, one's already open.
Damn.
I hear the taxes off this shit are killer too.
I wouldn't doubt it. Ooh, back.
I wouldn't mind
I know you were talking about CERN before.
If it helps.
I just found the article for it. The Next Generation Large Hadron Collider. CERN says it's going to cost roughly 21 billion pounds. It's a super collider. It's going to be roughly 4 times as long as the other one.
What's the goal with this new one?
I don't know. It says it's going to be 6 times more powerful. I don't understand why.
I heard they were basically making black holes, and they were they're
I mean,
just
what happens when
unstable
you
enough to
smash
stay.
atoms, subatomic particles at light speed? I mean, I think they were hunting for the God particle, the Higgs boson particle. I know that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they did get evidence, I think, of
Yeah.
it.
They thought they did. They didn't.
No,
No, like they're trying. A lot of people are trying to figure out what holds atoms together, and they're calling it gluon or something like that. Um, because atoms are moving, like how are we still is the question. Like that's what most people are trying to figure out is how are all these atoms accumulated holding together and not just expanding into everywhere. Um,
yeah.
So I think that's a little bit of the research they're doing with that hadron collider. I'm just wondering why they had to make it bigger because I thought the last one was enough to make black holes already. So that was kind of
I
scary.
mean, this is pretty huge. The
Then
image
that
I'm
worry
looking
you
at, like
a
size comparison.
little bit of concern about a black hole on planet Earth. Anybody? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
yeah. What does nothing to do if that shit starts? So
Right, because if it somehow does become stable, it does what a black hole does and sucks things in. It becomes larger and sucks more things in. It becomes larger and
like
eventually,
black
yeah,
hole
we'll just suck our planet in from the inside out.
Yeah.
I
it's
don't know,
around
man. I would love
once.
to see what was on the other side of a black hole, though. I just, if there's any wonder of all the universe that I could ask to know the exact answer is, what is a black hole exactly? Like, what is its purpose in the universe? Like, what is there something on the other side? Is there another side? Is it the same dimension as another dimension? It's so dense that light can't escape it. I mean, that's insane. Light is
Yeah,
trapped
light's the
by black.
fastest thing we know. That's why we travel things in light years, or that's why we measure things in light years in space.
I don't know,
That's
that's pretty intriguing to me, dude. Like black holes are amazing. That'd be the one thing I'd want to know. Hey, it's like the Hadron Collider is
too before he passed.
who? What's that?
Said Stephen Hawking was huge into them before he passed not too long
Yeah.
ago. I think there's like the Hawking theory. It's for oh fuck, I can't. It's slipping my mind right now. But he had a theory on like what it is over that, like right over that peak, like what it is inside a black hole. But apparently too, just not too long ago, they put images out of what a black hole looks like for the first time. So they say
Yeah. Well, they took a picture of one. Yeah,
it's like crude,
just looks like a orange
yeah, crude images.
gray ring. It's
Mhm.
nothing too detailed. I mean, what? I mean, you're taking a picture of a black hole. What are you gonna see?
True.
It's something that light can't escape, so it's not like it's very photogenic. Um,
It's
it
beautiful.
absorbs light for crying out loud. So how could you take a picture of it? I'm wondering.
Right. Right.
That's a great question.
What
But
else y'all look into?
well, back on not to be get stuck on Planet X or Planet Nine because Pluto got shafted. Um,
Pluto's always gonna be a planet to me. Fuck that shit.
Imagine that this other planet could be like if our Earth gets critical, could be our rescue planet basically. Like
Mars is.
not to say that the Bible supports any of this, but there is a biblical
Mars.
verse that talks about this Earth passing away and a new Earth coming about. So could we have another planet that's way out there being prepared to be our next Earth, maybe?
Yeah.
Because
It'd
this
be
Earth,
sustainable.
right? They took a lot of time for all this to come together. I don't know. I just thought that was pretty interesting that Planet Nine is becoming more of a possibility, whereas before it was just theoretical. But now they're starting to see evidence in the Kuiper Belt. So
I don't think a lot of people realize that there's this huge void of shit and stone and rock between Mars and Jupiter. I don't think people understand that when they look at the model of the solar system, they just look at all
they
the
just
planets
see the
lined
big
up.
planets, right?
Yeah, but like there's actually a huge void between those planets with a bunch of stuff that we have no idea what the hell is in there. That's why we have crap like asteroids and meteors and all this junk that floats by us.
Right. Well, they were talking about the possibility of there being like some kind of like dark matter or
Dark
some
matter.
kind of black hole, a giant black hole, like the biggest black hole they've ever discovered before. Because
Yeah,
there's this
big old black
spot
bug.
in space where you can see all the stars have kind of spread around it. Like there's, stars, and then there's just a giant circular space in between all these stars, like something disturbed that space and moved the stars out of its way. But they're thinking it's like this super freaking massive black hole.
Could be, and it could be the end of all of us. Could be
All
the
right,
end of everything.
all right, all right. It could be, man. I like black holes, man.
I just like
I think
space.
that's the most intriguing thing out in space.
I feel like it's the easiest thing to form conspiracy theories over. I did hear of a really cool conspiracy theory too. I mean that, and I really never even heard of this one not too long ago. Was that you remember when Kennedy is assassinated? I think who takes office after him? Johnson, right?
Yep, Johnson.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yep.
There's like apparently on like the plane ride on Air Force One back to Washington or something like that. After Kennedy's assassination, everybody is obviously in a somber mood, like sad. But apparently, Lyndon B. Johnson, this longtime crony, I forget the guy's name, were acting pretty raucous and like in a way that they weren't grieving. So I was reading into some theories that he might have had something to do with Kennedy's assassination, and I think that's crazy. But
That's a
anything.
new one to me for
That's what
sure.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
me
never,
too.
I never heard that one, and I've always been intrigued by that one. So
There was a comparison thing of like deaths and names and dates, and it was like Lincoln was killed in the Ford Theater, and then Ford was uh, killed in the Lincoln, or so. Yeah, there's a bunch of like name and date correlations. I have to find it, and we have to do a little piece on that.
hmm,
But it was something my dad wrote about a long time ago when he was in school about the connection between different names in history and different assassinations and people's names just reversed and being other people who were assassinated.
I don't know. There's an odd connection through things throughout life.
Yeah, like it had something to do with Lincoln being killed in the Ford Theater. I know that, but I'm sure there's a lot of people who've done a study on that already, though.
Oh yeah.
That's trippy on the JFK thing, man. I wish I'd have looked into that more.
I'm probably gonna look into it more myself, but there might not be much to find anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not getting off my butt if I can't find it on the computer. I'm not gonna find it.
Oh, Brett's checking something else out.
Putting something else down. There's a lot of other good ones out there too. I mean, I'm actually looking at something right now from NASA. I mean, back to the flat Earth thing. Apparently, one of the satellites caught yesterday at the same time the solar eclipse from yesterday and a Category 4 hurricane in the same video, like little clip. It's pretty intense. Like, but that alone should go to show that obviously the fucking Earth isn't flat. How do you explain hurricanes? How does a hurricane come about over this flat surface that comes from ice, comes across, and goes to nowhere? Like, explain that to me. How does that work?
You would think that hurricane would pound everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody and everything, and then it would just destroy itself once it hits the other side of the big old ice wall.
Okay, here it is. Actually, I found it. All right, so Abraham Lincoln. There it is. Happy 4th of July, y'all. I'm like deaf a little bit. Those things are loud as fuck, dude. These are like super powerful freaking pop snaps or whatever.
He didn't even jump.
Welcome back to nonsense now.
Yeah, the government didn't want me talking about the similarities in history. It froze my stuff all the way up.
Fuck no.
So
I think another really good conspiracy theory that's pretty debunked by this point now is global warming. Come on, you should have listened to Al Gore years ago.
Well, is it debunked though?
I
I
mean,
don't know
come on.
about you, dude, but
I mean, it's quite
planet
obvious.
Earth has been hotter for like the last 4 or 5 years. Like it's
I
like
don't know.
historical records at this point.
We've been pumping too much greenhouse gases into that atmosphere and heating this damn planet up. I mean, come on, it's obvious. Like I live in a hot ass place, and it's unbearable.
I think it's it's a conspiracy theory that America is the problem for global warming because there seems to be a trend of people believing that America is responsible for most of the global warming on the planet, but we're like way less than most of the other countries. I think we're like 3% or something like
Oh,
that.
Japan and China are terrible.
Yeah, it's like really up there, dude.
I know. So in China, I know in China there's these huge fucking towers that they have that are giant air filtration towers,
Whoa,
like
I did
massive
not
air
know that.
filtration towers just in their cities and stuff like that. I think like thousands of people die of pollution, like of air pollution and stuff like that a year in China. It's
That's insane.
it's intense. I mean, look at like you can look up the giant air towers and stuff like that. They're crazy. They're massive.
So what are the air towers doing exactly? Are they
Like those
removing the?
well, you know those air filtration things that you have in your house essentially that you can put those little mini ones that rotate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's basically
Right.
that on a grand scale.
Damn.
Huh.
Yeah, look them up. They're crazy. They're
I'm
intense.
gonna check that out.
Yeah,
The fact that you need that.
Imagine what it takes to power something like that.
I mean, I,
Light bills with fucking $100,000 a month.
I mean, shit. It's the Chinese government. They'll do whatever they want. They're
So it's like, all this focus on the United States is about, our greenhouse emissions, us burning coal and da 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 da. And it's like, man, what the fuck about China, man? Like, why is nobody cracking down on them and all their fucking huge pollution to the planet?
I mean, you ever play Risk?
Yeah, who hasn't played Risk? Yeah.
You'd be surprised. A lot of people.
Well, yeah. Younger
But-
people probably won't know about that. Like, my kids
No.
probably won't play that ever.
But you ever get Risk? You ever play Risk and you get Australia as the continent, and you're like, fuck yeah, because Australia is a good spot to have because all you can do is just build a huge ass army up down there because there's only one way to get to them.
Hmm.
So you can build a massive army and then just go. But you never want to leave somebody who has Australia alone for a bunch of turns. So I feel like,
Cuba.
if we take the example of China as being Australia, we've left them alone for decades and decades and decades, and now they've built up this mass supply of all this shit. I mean, if you do that in Risk and you just leave somebody alone that has that area in the game, they trample you because they can just stomp over you with all their troops.
I mean, you look at like any product that we got, like it's made in China, made in China, made in China, and all the pollution's coming from China, and all the products come from China. So why not crack down more on manufacturing in China? Than I know that they use automotive vehicles like we do in a lot of major cities, but there's a lot of part of China that's really not occupied. It's just a lot of land there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So
Mountain ranges and whatnot. They've got
right.
a lot of land.
Right, it's not all population like as far as the land goes, but they still have like the biggest numbers. So it's if they crack down on their factories and all of the really cheap products that we're getting, I guess they would just turn into tariffs for us and then costing us more money. And it all boils down to money, and then that's what's going to kill the planet is the dollar.
There's actually this trend that I think people have been finding over the past like like decade or so. They'll find like items that they'll buy from major retailers and stuff like that, where the products are made in China, but they'll find like notes inside the product somewhere hidden
Oh yeah.
about like the conditions in the factory that they're in and stuff like that, and basically asking for help and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you heard about the iPhone thing where they make the iPhones and they have suicide nets on the outside of the building where people try and kill themselves? They get caught up in the net and then they go right back to work.
What the fuck?
Yeah, look into that, man. That's some trippy shit. It's legit.
Dude,
Tense.
that's like up there with like,
just gotta go back to work.
yeah.
Yeah. I imagine they catch an ass whooping first, for trying to
Cut
get
a
out
finger.
of the building. But yeah,
I can't imagine what it'd be like to live in a country like that.
That'd be terrible.
Like,
That'd
I'm pretty sure I'd be murdered in the first week.
be...
me too.
Like, I'd be dead. Just another casualty.
Just another...
Society.
Now, Japan, I think I might last a little longer in Japan. But, so is Japan, like, still way ahead of us in technology? Like, they.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't doubt that their researchers are a tad bit more seasoned than ours. Maybe you always
I
hear
tell you,
about
their
crazy shit.
guitars are unparalleled, man. That ESP I brought last week and played with you guys, I
Yeah.
bought another one.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I saw actually your post on
That's a
Facebook.
Japanese product?
yes, they are handcrafted Japanese guitars, man. And
No kidding.
I tell you what, they smack. I've never been a fan of Gibson, but I know it's kind of off topic. But as far as any playability guitar, LTD, ESP, and Schecter, they're all owned by a Japanese company. But ESP is actually imported directly from Japan. I mean, it says it right on the back, made in Japan. And I remember when that was like a bad thing 20 years ago in the guitar world. But now I can't find anything better.
Damn.
Yeah.
They make, I don't know, man. Japanese products I like. They're always good quality.
Yeah.
So,
Well, in Japanese culture, there's a thing where if you wanted to teach somebody something, first you had to master it before you could speak about it, period. And that's something that American culture doesn't do. Like, we won't master something before we try to educate somebody else about it.
I'll take
We're doing
a
it right now.
YouTube
Right. Like, this is what Americans do. We just do
course and go at it,
nonsense.
Now.
Yeah, right now.
or later, but I prefer now.
If y'all want it later, we're here later.
That's what comments are for. Drop them on our YouTube channel.
Tell us we suck or something. Come on.
Oh, we got to boost it, guys. I mean, we did.
nonsensenowstudios@gmail.com.
There you go.
Get us, blow it up, man. Like, I want to wake up tomorrow, have like 1,000 emails that says your show sucks.
We did good with last week's episode. I threw it on like 6 different platforms, just on Facebook alone, because I suck at YouTube. But I threw it on my page, the band page. The boys threw it up. It got quite a bit of views just from doing that. So
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this is still a trial run. We're still having fun with it. So I mean,
Yeah.
we're doing good.
Yeah, we hope you guys are enjoying it. I am. I'm having a good time.
what's good for next week? What y'all getting into next week?
Next week, I think we're a little undecided what next week's episode is going to be exactly.
Yeah.
We have a lot of work to come up. We kind of took a little break over the weekend because I was busy with automotive repairs, and so. But
Everybody-
next week's episode will still happen, so you'll expect that not this Friday, but the next Friday in this episode. Yeah, when you're watching it right now, of course.
takes a
So,
little to edit.
all right. And if you guys have any good recommendations for video editing programs that are fairly affordable, definitely
For
shoot
future
us
episodes.
comments about that.
You want something else? Want something for us to talk about? Let us know. Oh man, that was loud. I just hit my fucking ear on the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Drop some comments. I mean, if you have something you want us to talk about or you want us to get into, let us know. I mean, it's as easy as a comment. Leave it for us.
I'm serious about that, like, abandoned factory thing, though, man. Like,
Oh man, I don't want to go back to that.
that shit would be creepy as fuck, dude. I'd be thrilled.
Totally forgot.
Like, that's what life's about, man. Getting that adrenaline going, bro.
Out to get your shit scared out of you and get haunted.
Oh, Lord.
I'm in.
I'd have to buy it first for it to happen. So,
Oh man, I don't know.
if you say it's real, then go with me and show me how it can be real.
I don't
I'm
think
with Brett.
It's totally real, man. Ghosts are real. You fuck with that shit, and you'll get your ass.
You think there's, like, pig ghosts?
And it's ghosts in general. It's probably cow ghosts.
I have a thing to say to them. I love you. I love Moo. Yeah. I love steak. Like, seriously, it's like favorite cut of meat is steak. just give me steak and we're friends.
I like bacon.
Yeah, he's a bacon guy. I'm a steak guy. If I could, I'd have a cow picking instead of a pig picking. But could you imagine a cow on a fucking grill? Like, you imagine the size of that grill. I'd have to invite like 100 people. It'd probably cost me thousands of dollars to do that.
I wish I could have got Matt on this show, man, because for the conspiracy theory episode, which I'm sure you'll have more now, because you guys would run out of runtime.
We have part twos, man, so that can be a thing.
There's way more stuff on conspiracy theories that can be touched, and there's way more that's going to be touched on that. There's too much not to talk about.
Yeah. John likes to touch it all, so
yeah,
look out.
Damn right.
Yeah, man.
Slip a finger in there.
Somebody, never mind.
Leave that for
Hey, John, do we want to spill another embarrassing moment?
I mean,
I think we should.
Which one?
In the face of entertainment. So, this is super embarrassing.
I'm ready.
All right.
Which one are we talking
So,
about? Go ahead.
This guy over here is like Michael Jordan with a Ziploc bag.
Oh, hell yeah. Dunking him.
This guy can dunk a Ziploc bag. That's what I'm telling you. He can take a sandwich-sized Ziploc bag into a bathroom and take a shit into it. Take a shit.
The things you do when you're a kid. Come on.
And not streak the sides. Like, plop, swoosh. Like, no rim on that.
I got skill, man. What can I say?
That's not the best part.
Didn't even have to wash my hands.
Why we
made a sandwich right after.
Put poop in this bag.
I'm intrigued. Fill me in.
We were assholes.
Poop on the bag because somebody pissed me off.
Back to when we were like burrito bean throwing motherfuckers, nailing people on the side of the street. We smeared this shit on a windshield of a car, and this shit baked onto this car's windshield for like 3 days.
It was terrible.
I remember coming out there,
a new car,
later, seeing the car still sitting there. Like, I guess nobody ever drove this car. It's probably why it's a target for us, to be honest. It's, we saw that it was been sitting there for a long time. I mean, I'm sure we had some kind of logic for it in our brains at the time, but to me, it's nonsense now. So it looked like burnt brownies on a fucking windshield. They're crispy, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, I would have just traded my car.
3 days later, dude. 3 days go by and this shit on your windshield still. Like nothing ever became of it, but that's just.
Imagine if the person thought it was a bird and be like, "Damn, wonder what happened to that bird."
They're checking the cam, waiting to see somebody standing over their fucking cars. Oh Lord! But yeah, another embarrassing moment. We were assholes, still are. A little ashamed, not really. Don't care.
I can't blame myself for what I did when I was.
It was fun. I had a good time. John had a good time, and John should have been in some kind of like shitting contest because he's really accurate.
Yeah, you had the Kobe Bryant is shitting in plastic bags.
Yeah, bro, sandwich bag. I mean, not like the gallon or the quart size. Yeah. It was a sandwich bag.
Like when he was squatting over, did you hear him like through the bathroom wall be like Kobe, and it just like pop that shit.
He just came out like I did it. Like you did. Let me see. Like it's just the bag's spotless except for this turd.
It's like I picked the fucking thing up and just.
It was. Yeah. I was like, dude, what'd you like? Shit the toilet and pick it up, drop it in there. Like, no, I just the freaking toilet.
I couldn't even try it now, man. You must have a high fiber diet, dude, because I'd be spraying all over the place.
Oh yeah, no, see,
those days some raisin bran tear you up quick, boy. You need to shit. Some raisin bran, you will shit.
The guys that was selling our diet then was nothing but like Mountain Dew and Doritos.
Damn.
That's it. How old were we? Like I want to say we were like 14
to 16 range.
Yeah, we were real assholes.
All I know is that I couldn't be arrested for
I
it.
deserve a lot of things that's happened to me. That's all I gotta say.
Well, hell, I knew you at that age.
It was bad, dude.
Decisions
Yeah.
were made. Decisions were
We
made.
just we went ham, dude. Anywhere we went ham.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, the world experienced us.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
well, I think we should end it on that. That was a good one. Let that one simmer.
Yeah. Tell all your friends.
Yeah, tell all your friends.
If you check out our previous episode, you'll be able to hear about me catching myself on fire in a McDonald's drive-thru.
Shit happened.
Yeah, shit happens, bro. Shit happens.
And Kobe and shit into a sandwich bag.
Yeah, it's epic. I'm gonna get you a plaque. I'm gonna send it to you, John.
Please do. I'll post it right here behind me for our next
It's
episode.
gonna be a thing now.
Right there. It's gonna have just like a.
Sandwich bag shit
It's
master.
gotta have instead of like a basketball going into. It's gotta have
How
like
do we illustrate that on a plaque though? Like, that'd be a tough one.
I know a guy.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna talk to this guy. We're gonna brainstorm a little bit.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out a podcast logo as well. So
Yeah, we're searching. We've got some ideas in the works right now, but we haven't really decided on one just yet.
yeah. Anywho, you guys have a great night. Again, email us. Check us on Spotify, on YouTube and Facebook. You're on YouTube watching this or Facebook. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe if you liked our video.
Doses.
Peace.
Bye.